Well, happy Monday to you. We're studying from the Chronological Bible, and we're looking at Solomon reflecting on life, probably late in his life, and after he's had a chance to try and do almost anything that anybody could ever do. He looked at wisdom, and in chapter 1, verse 18, he said it brings about much grief and much pain. He looks at pleasure of the mind and of the body, and he says it accomplishes nothing. It's not lasting. Chapter 2, verse 3. And then he looks at accomplishments and material possessions, and he says, what's the point? Nothing meets your expectations. And many times they lead to addictions and other problems, and he continues to see that it's nothing but vanity. Chapter 2, verses 15 and 17, and it's all just futility, striving after the wind, everything under the sun. I recently sat down with a man that was about 82 years of age who was working on our property and doing a job for us. It's amazing that he was still wanting to work at that age, but he enjoyed working. And one of the things we talked about as he told me about all of the possessions that he owned, and I started to remember all of the people that I've talked to where they said their possessions started to own them instead of vice versa, and I couldn't help but to think if maybe that was what was happening for him as well. It can happen, where your possessions start to own you and demand your time and your effort, and even though you may not want to and you may not have to anymore, they do take all your time. In any case, I remember sharing with him one of my favorite proverbs. It's a proverb of Agar. I believe it's Proverb 30, or at least part of Proverb 30. And it says, Lord, don't make me so poor that I have to steal to live. And don't make me so rich that I forget my need of thee. It's wise words by Agar. Lord, don't make me so poor that I need to steal. And Lord, don't make me so rich that I forget my need of thee. Well, the next subject that Solomon takes a look at is hard labor. I remember my dad's always had a philosophy. He said, work harder than the next guy, smarter than the next guy, and you'll always get ahead. And I found that to be true. When you work harder than the next guy and you work longer and smarter than the next guy, when it comes time that they have to pare back in the company, you're the last to go. And hard labor is good for us. It keeps us healthy. However, if we just live for hard labor, then there's a real problem. Because you see, once again, hard labor is not lasting kind of satisfaction. You can get some satisfaction from a job accomplished, but you just have to realize that there's going to always come some despair. And when you realize that you're going to one day leave all your hard labor for somebody else. Remember I said how hard I worked at Southside Baptist Church in Brandon, Florida? And I had to leave it for some other pastors. I may work real hard for the material possessions that I have, but one day I'll have to leave it for my son or my daughter. Maybe they won't outlive their children, and maybe they won't outlive me, and I'll be leaving it to my grandchildren. Hard labor you can't take with you. You can't take the possessions with you. Now, my dad used to have a saying that money isn't everything, but it's ahead of whatever's in second place. I don't think that that's really true, but he also had a saying that said something like this, that money can take a lot of pain out of life, and that is true. When you have money and you don't have to worry about when you're going to pay the next repair bill, or you have enough money that you can take care of your physical health, it's awfully nice. But all the money in the world won't take care of a terminal disease. All the money in the world won't take care of a tragic accident. And so we recognize the the fact that most things, hard labor or material possessions or temporal, and that brings us to Solomon's conclusion. He said there was nothing better than to eat and drink and to tell yourself that you've done a good job if it's from the hand of God, because apart from Him, nothing is really meaningful. And I think that's true. But there is a time and a place for everything, and everything a time and a place, and that's what we'll be looking at tomorrow. So I hope that you come back and watch the video for tomorrow. I hope you'll recognize that life is not just vanity. Life is only vanity when it's separated from God. When we're doing the things that we do for God and for His glory, they always have not only meaning and purpose, but they're eternal. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.